To start off, we've only been dating for a month and a half, and we're both completely obsessed with each other. However, I feel like all my time is now taken up by having to give her attention, and I feel like I never get any time for myself. How do I tell her that it's okay to not be talking constantly without upsetting her? It's to the point where I'm neglecting my other relationships with friends, and it's making me feel like a bad friend. Story 1. Just be honest with her, man. Obviously, don't do it in a mean way and say that you love talking with her, but let her know that you need time away from her as well. If she doesn't respect that, then you dodged a bullet. If she does, then don't let this girl go. Story 2. That's the mistake I made. Establish clear boundaries and make sure that she knows you are an independent person and you have your own responsibilities to handle, even though you're with her. Story 3. I would try to avoid mentioning that you're spending too much time together and instead look at it from a different angle. You can say, hey, I've been inadvertently making some people in my life feel left out, and I feel bad about it. They've been there for me, and I want to be as good a friend to them as they are to me. So my friends and I are going to hang out tomorrow. If you want, you can plan to do something together later that week or on the weekend. I've found that relationships where the other person relies on you to have a good time are the worst. Typically, no matter how you phrase it, they're going to have their feelings hurt. If they don't have their own hobbies or friends and are not independent, then you could have a problem on your hands. Story 4. Just tell her that you really like her but want to have some time for your friends too. If she freaks out over it, then bounce. Who knows? She may need some friend time too. Story 5.1. Extend arms. Rotate 360 degrees while maintaining balance. Repeat. You are entering a restricted area. Vacate the premises immediately. But first, show me them boobies. Success rate, 4%. Chance of you marrying this girl, minus 37%. Love is dead. Story 6. I'm a married introvert. Next time you are together, let her know how much you care about her and love spending time with her. Then let her know you would like to spend a little more time with friends or some alone time, and let her know if she can be around during your alone time. For example, she can read in your room while you play video games in the living room. Then reassure her that you care about her and that this is about you having a fully rounded life, not about not being around her. Avoid words like problem, space, and step back, since they are usually euphemisms for a breakup. The most important thing is to leave the conversation open and include her if you can. On occasion, invite her to a friend's gathering if everyone is okay with it, and talk to her about your alone time hobbies. You want it to be a door she can open, not one that is slammed shut. Story 7. What does she say when you don't reply immediately or tell her that you can't hang out because you need alone time or are meeting up with friends? Have you tried to just act normal and do that? Story 8. Having to give her attention, you don't have to do anything, you choose to. Have an adult conversation with her about it. Surely she has family, friends, work colleagues, or hobbies and pursuits of her own. Story 9. Just communicate. Talk to her about how you are feeling. Either she will be completely okay with it and things will be fine, or she will not be happy with it. If she is not happy with it, then you can either commit to leaving other relationships behind for this girl you have been dating for 6 weeks, or you can break up because she has unreasonable expectations about how a relationship should be. Story 10. I actually went through this. We talked about it, and it turns out we both felt the same way. Having different types of platonic relationships is fulfilling. One person usually cannot fill that role. I can't stress this enough. Talk to her about it. Otherwise, she may feel as though she's not important anymore and you're putting her on the back burner. My partner and I just went through this after 3 years, and I'd forgotten what it was like to have friends. Don't neglect those other relationships. They're important. Story 11. Newer relationships are kind of tough because they are exciting and generate a lot of feelings and endorphins that feel great. Honestly, if she is getting really upset to the point she won't listen at all, then the relationship might be more for her than both of you. Just talk it out with her and say you would like to relax for a bit or don't have anything to talk about. Keeping up the conversation for both parties can be exhausting. Story 12. Hey babe, I think I'm going to spend this next weekend to myself, to recharge and maybe chat with the boys. Maybe we should make dinner plans for Monday? I don't know, something like that. Don't overcomplicate it. And about not wanting to upset her. Don't expect her to be upset about that request, because she shouldn't be. She may still be, but that shouldn't be the default reaction that either of you expect. Story 13. Always remember, women like face-to-face time, and men enjoy side-by-side. When you do make time for her, make sure it's time spent not only watching TV. Some women don't feel that time spent side-by-side is actually quality time, which might be why you are feeling constantly engaged. She's not satisfying that craving for her together time. Remember, a relationship takes two people. So always look at what you can do to rectify the situation first before telling your partner to change. Nobody, in general, purposefully goes out of their way to destroy a person's friendships, and she possibly has no idea this is what is happening to you. Chat with her face-to-face and see if anything changes over time before telling her that you are feeling overwhelmed. I realized with COVID face-to-face might be challenging, and you might be conversing over the phone. This is even harder to manage because there is no regulation over messages. You can't tell when enough is enough unless you are pretty blunt. In which case, don't do that, it can be misread. Never have a conversation like you want to have over messages. Make sure if you need to have a serious chat with her, that it's in person or spoken. Story 14. One of my oldest friends never had a lot of luck with women and was single most of the time. A couple of years ago, another friend set him up with a girl, and we basically never saw him again. Within 6 months, he got her pregnant and moved in with her, and now they have a house together. So long, dude. Nice knowing you. Story 15. I love the top comment and would add, let her know you want to take her out on Friday. That way she knows you are still planning time for her too in this change. Story 16. My boyfriend and I are both very close and spend a lot of time together, and I love it, but I also need my recharge time to be by myself and just do my own thing, and I told him just that. If she cares about you, then she'll get it. Story 17. Boundaries are important in any relationship. Time apart is critical. When you reunite, you will either be happy to see that person again or you will not. Either way, it is important. Story 18. Definitely tell her you need to spend time with your friends as well. I sadly lost all of mine when I gave all my attention to my girlfriend at the time and was neglecting my friends and family. Story 19. Tread lightly. Any relationship in my 20s where I said I needed space was taken negatively, and I have yet to learn how to thread that needle. Good luck. Story 20. Honesty. But you have to understand, even if she is totally rational, the body will want to go through the emotions of jealousy. She probably will be just a little, but hopefully in a healthy way. The worst case scenario, and a likely one, is that she thinks you don't want to hang out with her specifically, which affects her self-esteem. Story 21. So, for years ago I was in the same situation as you are now. I talked to her about it, but probably a little too directly. She was pretty devastated afterwards. We talked about it for a long time, and what we figured in the end was that it was, of course, the right way to be honest, but also that I should have been a little more considerate with what I was saying. Emphasizing how much I value the time with her and not making her feel like I don't want to be around her anymore. Nevertheless, in the end, it thankfully even worked the way I did it, since we're still together. But try doing it a little better than I did. Talk to her and be honest, but also emphasize how much you like her and how much you value the time you spend with her. Story 22. Communication is key. And if she cares about you, she will understand and compromise with you. Here is what I have said in the past, and with the right women, my best relationships, it has always gone smoothly. Hey babe, or other pet name if you use them. I wanted to talk to you about something. First, I want you to understand that I am crazy about you and I do not want to lose this fire we have. I love how you make me feel wanted, and I enjoy being around you, but I feel like I have been neglectful towards my other friends, and I want to rectify that situation. The last thing I want is them resenting you because I chose to spend more time with you than them. It is not fair to you, and it is easily avoidable if I set aside time to spend with them. So I want to set up a night with guys, coworkers, gamers, classmates where I can devote my time to them. Can we hammer out a time and schedule for me to start doing that? Story 23. Connection is generally important to women. You are asking to change how that is happening. Attention is one way she feels connected with you. Also, keep in mind it's entirely possible she's neglecting a balanced life as well. Reiterate your need, desire, or intent on maintaining connection with her. Let her know you want to show up fully for her, and that part of you being able to do that is through the delicate dance of a balanced life. Explain what a balanced life looks like for you and how she fits into that balance. And make sure to ask about her life balance and what her ideal looks like. There are likely many areas of changing things up so that they work better for both of you. For example, a love language of words of praise might be nonstop texting you compliments. But for you, it's all about, say, quality time. So a switch-up could be setting unbreakable dates of exclusive time focused on the other person at a good interval for both people's schedules, combined with words of praise texted in the opposite direction at a good interval for both parties. Meaning, give the opposite of what you need so the other person experiences the intentions more effectively. Not suggesting you're in love at this point. Love languages are also languages of appreciation and can be used as a lens to enhance friendships and coworkers and such. For a person who values connection, often the simple art of knowing when that will happen puts the mind at ease. This could be an exciting and great conversation to create something that works better for you both. If her need for attention or connection is so high that you can't possibly meet it in an ongoing way, it's actually better for her to find that out now rather than months from now when the emotional investment becomes far more devastating to face sunk cost realities. Story 24. Dude, for one, if you can't be straightforward with your significant other, then that's already the end of the relationship. Basically, do this. Hey, loving woman, I'll be back later. Just going to hang out with friends. If she has a problem with this, then explain that you miss your friends. If she complains or makes you feel bad, then leave her right then and there because that's a toxic person you are with, and you need to escape and run as far as you can. Story 25. I struggled with this a lot being an introvert. My friend told me one bit of advice that helped me a lot. Learn to do your own thing while being around each other. It's hard to do as you feel the need to give all your attention to them, but if you get comfortable enough to both do your own thing while being around each other, it can help a lot. For example, I have a gaming personal computer and a television in my room. Sometimes she will just watch television while I do my own thing on the personal computer. Story 26. How do I tell her that it's okay to not be talking all the time without upsetting her? If you can't do it without her getting upset, that's a red flag right there. Either your communication skills are really poor, which I doubt, or she is overly sensitive. Stop seeking approval and stop worrying about her emotional state. Just arrange to meet with your friends, and for God's sake, don't spend the whole time you're with them on your phone with her. Story 27. The edit is where you need to focus your presentation. I need more time to keep up with my friends and family is a much softer blow than I need more time away from you. Story 28. An old Hawaiian man on television once told me, don't repress it, don't express it, confess it. His wise philosophy has guided me for many years, such as, baby, I'm sorry, but I have to do something with my friends before they file a missing persons report. Story 29. You need to make it normal now to spend time with your friends, because if you wait too long, she will think something is wrong in the relationship. I once had a girlfriend who shamed me when I wanted to spend time with my brother. I mean, really, she would say, if you spend time with him, that means you would rather not spend time with me. I wish I had been wiser back then to address that issue and move on earlier when things did not improve. Just approach it with maturity. Do not make a big spectacle of it. Mention in passing that you are going to do something with your friend. That should be enough. Then, when you get home or wherever, say you had fun and you were glad to talk to her again. We all like to at least know we were missed. Story 30. How old are you guys? This is the kind of stuff people must learn through their first relationships. Understanding that being in love does not mean giving up the whole identity. The key is not being the reason for each other's joy, but sharing each other's joy. Story 31. I feel like you need to have a clear discussion on boundaries. It seems like you are not communicating the situation clearly because I read that you were obsessed with her. 2. You can set days on when to see each other, like every Saturday, but talk on the phone every night. You need to compromise. Also, you might want to look into attachment theories because it seems like she might have an anxious attachment style for reasons from her upbringing. You might too, for all you know. It seems like you like her a lot, but you were spending too much time together. This is relatively normal at the start of some relationships. You just need to have clear communication, or else it will not work out. Tell her that you have a lot on your plate, and if you can see her on Saturdays and Wednesday nights only from now on. If she does not like that, then she might have an issue that you can talk about, or you can make the decision to leave or not. Story 32. My friends and I recently lost a very close friend to a toxic relationship like this. You have to set boundaries and make it clear that she can't tell you what to do or not do. Otherwise, you lose your personality and self-respect. Talk about why she needs you all the time. Most of the time, it's because she doesn't love herself enough and needs you to validate her, and not fixing that will sooner or later harm you both. If she's mad at you for spending time with your friends, it's better to leave. This screams toxic relationship, and I know how hard it is, especially for very agreeable people, to get out of it and not turn into slaves.